Yeah. We back up in it. Here for this boxing. Hold on. What up, y'all? Waiting for everybody to join. The verdict is in. Cancel. But we're gonna get to that. Hit the like button if you just joined in. Hit your like button. Man. Damn, you got haters already disliking. They can do whatever they want. The paycheck's still the same. I don't care about that. Man. We're going to talk about this heavyweight stuff. We got more than 5 likes. But make sure you hit the like button if you're just entering the stream.
From moment to moment.
I'm just drinking water.
Now.
Yeah, let's do the roll call. Beginning and end of my streams, I like to do the roll call, see where everybody's from. Let me know. One time for your mind, let me know. Yo, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Cities, states, zips. Shout out to Turkey, St. Louis, Baltimore, Victorville, Bmore, Ridgecrest, California, Omaha, DC, London, Tri-State, Denver, Tyler, Texas, London, North Hollywood, LA, New York, Stockton, Fredericksburg, Fort Worth, Texas in the building, Lancaster, Bristol, Turkey, Belgium, East London, Houston, UK, Augusta, Georgia, Cleveland this evening. I caught a plane out to Cleveland late this evening. Atlanta, North Carolina. Yeah. Humboldt Park. Anchorage, Alaska. Hit the like button. A few more, let me know where you guys are from. Fleetwood, Massachusetts, Pomona, Queens, get the money. East Sacramento, 916 in the building. Alaska, what up? Cleveland, Cavs Nation. Y'all happy with the people you getting? Dominic Wade. King Kong fell off the building. It's really off. What do you mean it's really off? Listen, this is a business. I'm a businessman. You know, because you see me at my places of business. I don't just get on here and put titles that don't make no sense. Yeah, it's off. I don't even understand what my credibility is fully intact in this boxing game. I don't just make up shit. New York, Atlanta, I see. Now, let's get into it, man. YouTube lying. We got 42 likes, but it says 17 people watching. I don't believe that. Hey, just put a greeting if you're in the stream, because it's saying we have 17 people, and I don't believe that. So I want to kind of count. So if you're in this stream right now, just say something. Just drop a comment. Drop a word, and then we can get right to it. Yo, keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'm trying to count. See, YouTube line. So I've already counted more than 17 comments. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Hootie hoo, where y'all at? So YouTube be lying. Now it's trying to jump it up to live. YouTube be trifling. No, YouTube's tripping. Even if people like and dislike, the shit went up to 100, then it dropped down to 80, 60, then it said we had 15 people. Come on, man. My streams always have a certain amount of people. What the fuck is DTube? I sound like porno. Listen, let's get right into it, man. 6 minutes in the stream. We already did a roll call. We'll do one at the end. Fights off. Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. It's over. Kaput. Out of here. Fights off. Like Future said, mask off. Fights off. That's what it is. Your source? I am the source. King Kong ain't got shit on me. I am the source. What do you mean? I'm Alonzo of this boxing. You talking about your source? I am the source. I am the plug. But it's on the WBC. Look. I'm talking about your source. I am the source. World Boxing. We already did the roll call. You late. Verified page. WBC. The fuck? What the fuck? Shout out to Supreme Boxing. Bronze Bomber will face Bermane Stiverne November 4th after the failed drug test by Ortiz per the WBC. And they retweeted it. And I know people of Supreme Boxing. Shout out to Nancy. But they do a lot of work with the WBC, like charity events and stuff like that. So this is it. This is what it is. Talking about it. What's your source? I am the source. So get used to this. Look forward to this. I don't know what the hell's up with Dominic Brazil. Maybe they paid him some money for wasting his time, which happens. Happened to my dude, Cream Mayfield. PBC called out. Cream Mayfield flew him out. And then they went with Eric Bonet for Sean Porter. So, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Dominic Brazil. Just like we got it popping. This just happened right now. This news just came out, and I'm making a video, so I don't have the details on Dominic Brazil. Maybe he fights another person. Maybe he's off the card with some like sorry for the inconvenience money. Man, I must say I am disappointed. Listen, I keep it real on my channel. I'm very disappointed actually, but I understand it, and I told you that before. I'm disappointed because the boxing fan in me wanted to see the fight that was gonna be Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, right? And I was gonna actually go out to New York, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna go out to New York for this. I don't know. Bermane Stiverne's been on a 19-month layoff. You know what I'm saying? So this changes the card completely. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that I want to spend the amount of money that I would be spending to leave Cali and be there for a fight week for a fight I've already seen. And like, no disrespect to Bermane, but I interviewed him several times and stuff. And the thing is, he's literally new media. He's fought one time since the Wilder first fight. One time. So it's not like and he got knocked down in that one fight since the Wilder fight. So to me, he hasn't been active enough. It's not like he was like active and he beat like Oh, anyone, Amir Mansour, or you know what I mean, Charles Martin or something, and then like he worked his way back up the ladder. He was supposed to fight an eliminator with Povetkin. Povetkin failed, excuse me, failed a drug test, and as a result, he got elevated because motherfuckers just keep failing these drug tests. So I don't know if honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna go to New York for this because it's just like, man, this changes the whole dynamics of the card. And I really wanted to go, and I thought Sean Porter Granados was an excellent addition, and I was content seeing Bermane Stiverne versus Brazil. I thought that was good, but the main event is completely changed in my opinion. So I don't know what's up with Dillian White. Like I said, this news just came out. You guys are asking me questions that I clearly wouldn't know. The WBC took their time, made their ruling. The ruling literally just came out, and I got on the horn and started talking about it. So I don't know what's up with Brazil. I don't know what's up with Dillian White. All I do know is this. This is the fight. Now, the other thing is, hate as you may, people are going to try to spin this on Deontay Wilder. He's not, he's the belt holder. He's the title holder. He's the champion. He is not the WBC. He said he would still fight Luis Ortiz. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But this is beyond his control. So there's no way you can spin it and change it. Oh, he's fighting Stiverne again. This keeps happening. If people don't fail drug tests, then we would have got two great fights. Wilder versus Povetkin, which would have been a good fight, and Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. Point blank, period. He's not the one failing. And listen, I don't mind Wilder versus Dillian White. I don't mind the fight. But you guys have to understand the business of boxing. And the business of boxing, listen to me. That was a stupid comment. Kimmick TV or whatever your name is. Listen, the business of boxing is this. And I'm not one of those people, like I'm a boxing fan before anything. But the reality of the situation is this. The Luis Ortiz fight with Wilder wasn't supposed to happen. What I mean by that is you had a guy in Bermane Stiverne who was the mandatory for Wilder, who wanted his opportunity and was standing in the way. In order to make the Ortiz fight, Wilder had to pay step aside money and give Stiverne a placement on the card, which he was supposed to fight Dominic Brazil, with the intent of fighting the winner. Right? These are all facts. You guys could trace it back to the roots. And that being said, your opponent that you pushed Stiverne aside for the opportunity to fight Luis Ortiz failed his drug test. As a result, it makes no sense to keep Bermane Stiverne on the card, who is your mandatory, that you're paying additional money on top of his fight purse, pay him more money than what's needed, step aside to fight Dillian White, who has no title, who arguably lost to Derek Chisora and got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. Again, I like Dillian White. He was just at the fight I was covering with Crawford and Dongo. I don't think it's a bad fight. I'd actually rather see the Dillian White fight versus Wilder than the Bermane Stiverne 2. That's my opinion. But understand this. This is a business. You have to do what actually makes sense for the fluidity of the business. And again, it doesn't make sense to pay. And I heard, I don't know the amount, but I heard they were paying Bermane Stiverne. He hired Andre Ward's attorney, Josh Dubin, to represent him, to make sure he got a fair shake in this whole step aside. And from what I heard, he was getting a handsome paycheck to step aside. Plus, he was going to get a purse for fighting Dominic Brazil. You get me? So again, it doesn't make sense to be paying someone all this money when, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I had kids and I'm paying for a babysitter, and I'm paying all this money for a babysitter, and then I end up me and my date decide to stay at home and watch a movie, but I'm still gonna pay her even though she never even came over. Like, come on, man. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Bermane Stiverne was stepping aside to make the bigger fight. Now that the bigger fight's not happening, it doesn't make sense to still keep paying him step aside money and then fight Dillian White on late notice, even though I think it's a better fight. So I'm disappointed though. Like I said, I'm glad I didn't book the trip yet to Brooklyn, because I don't know if I'm gonna go now. You know what I mean? The Rigondeaux Lomachenko card is calling my name. Crazy stuff, man. But see, this is the other thing. The other thing is this: when we're talking about business, you're the type of person to agree with Adelaide Bird's scorecard. Who are you talking to, Oscar? Yeah, it's not Wilder's fault. $600,000 step aside money. That's what he's getting. Well, if that's accurate, that's what I'm saying. You're getting $500,000 to step aside, so you're gonna keep paying him that, so Dillian White can come with no title. That don't make sense. And again, I'm openly declaring that I think Dillian White is a better fight because at least he's been active, unlike Stiverne. You get me? But you got to understand business. The other thing is, like, I thought they were going to be able to work it out. To be honest, I thought they were going to find a work it out, but Team Ortiz did not do what they were supposed to do, and that's when rulings don't go in your favor, because there's listen. Any way you slice it, there was a breach in contract or breach in what was supposed to be done from Team Ortiz. And I've been telling y'all that from the jump, which is why I thought it was going to get canceled from the beginning, and I made a video about it. But then it was taking so long, I'm like, oh, maybe they're working this out with all the doctor notes and prescriptions and stuff. But listen, I said the same thing. Stiverne should be the #1 contender in the first place, Pedro. You don't know shit about boxing. The reason he should be is because he was rated #2 and Alexander Povetkin was rated #1, and they were supposed to have an eliminator in Russia. He flew to Russia and he went to the weigh-in, and Povetkin failed a second drug test for that year of 2016. So by default, since another motherfucking heavyweight can't pass his drug test, that bumps you up. You know, it's anything like that. Like, Errol Spence wasn't initially supposed to fight Leonard Bundu, but he was supposed to fight Konstantin Ponomarev, who was rated higher. Konstantin Ponomarev and Abel Sanchez said they didn't want the fight, and Ponomarev was injured. So you go down to the next order of operations. If Povetkin keeps turning in bad drug tests 2 in 1 year, then you go down the list. So that is fair. He is supposed to be #1. You don't know shit about boxing, Pedro. And that's all facts. That's all factual. So whether you like it or not, he was a ranked guy. And had Povetkin not screwed it up on his end, he would have been fighting. He would have been fighting. And if he would have beat Stiverne, which maybe he could, maybe he doesn't, I don't know, because we didn't get to see it, then Povetkin will be back in the #1 spot. But he turned in 2 dirty tests in 1 year. It's completely his bad. See, man. New media, man. We got you covered. Boxingego.com. We the future of this shit. Alexander Povetkin fails another drug test. December 17th. Alexander Povetkin versus Bermane Stiverne, Russian eliminator. December 16th. You see, Bermane Stiverne went to Russia to fight him. Really, for real? Accept this block. L, get your ass out of here. You're just saying stupid shit. Blocked. We don't have time for the silly shit. Especially I'm pissed since this fight's not happening like it was supposed to be happening. Block. Get your L. Collect your L. You up out of here. You like Luis Ortiz. We had to give you the boot. Get up out the chat. You Donkey Kong. You Donkey Kong Ortiz. You ain't even the real King Kong. Get your ass out of here, L. Y'all sound stupid. When I say something y'all don't like, I'm on somebody's payroll. I'm like, Floyd Mayweather's good fight. Oh, you're TMT. What are you talking about? I'm on TMT's payroll and shit. Fuck out of here. Yeah, man. Shit, I might as well work in the hats. I don't think I'll be going to New York. Run it back? Nothing. There's nothing to run back. Fight's off. Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. The ruling is in. WBC said no. Fight's off. But Bermane Stiverne is elevated to the main event. I'm not doing any impersonations. I'm not in an impersonation mood. I'm not happy. Like I said, I understand why before I started my own business and worked for myself, I worked for businesses. I've had a job since I was 14 years old, my whole life, consistently, with no lapse in the employment coverage. And the thing is, you have to understand how business works. And I understand why the WBC canceled the fight, even though I was hoping that it would somehow get salvaged. But the thing is, this is how it goes down when you're talking about business. The WBC is a business. It's an organization. And we have 127 people in the stream, 80 likes. We got to fix that. Put your likes up. If you're in the stream, you like the latest and greatest in boxing, and you appreciate the content, just hit the like button. We should be at triple digits. We have triple digits in terms of viewership. But this is how business works. I'm trying to tell you guys and explain it to you. WBC is an organization, right? And the bottom line is Team Ortiz did not do what they were supposed to do on their end by openly declaring something they were taking, which makes it cloudy, suspicious, black cloud, an asterisk by it, whatever you want to call it. That is what is happening here. So the WBC can go against their own in-stone rules for the clean boxing program and bend the rules for somebody who did not do what they were supposed to do on their end, and then it's going to set a bad example for future cheats. So the WBC, they did the classic business move where they're just like, no, I understand it hurts the fight. People are going to be upset, but we're not going to break our rules because somebody else didn't abide by the rules. It makes perfect sense. Despite it, like I said, I'm pissed. I was going to go to New York for this, and I'm probably not going to New York for this. You know what I'm saying? For the Stiverne rematch. But, you know what I mean? They're going to break their rules, then that's going to set a tone. Like, oh, hey, if I fail a drug test, like let's say I'm fighter, I'm a heavyweight fighter, and if I fucking fail a drug test, I can come up with some sideline excuse about like, oh, hey, I know I didn't declare this. That's common knowledge. I didn't declare this, but make an exception for me. And that's probably why they didn't do it. It's because they don't want to put that out there that like the fight can still go through with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's their discretion. That's their decision. Their belt. Once again, you can't blame Wilder. Canelo versus Ward. Yo, if you're trolling, I'm just gonna block you because you sound stupid. Canelo versus Ward. Ward just retired, and there are way too many different weight classes. So keep putting stupid shit, fly boy, and you got to fly. We'll see if you can fly, boy, because you're gonna fly up out of here, putting them stupid comments. Nobody's here joking like that, and you're just putting stupid shit. So we'll see who the real fly boy is if you put another comment like that. When you get your L, you're gonna fly away. like the birds do down south. Y'all can laugh. I'm just being real. I'm not even in the great mood. Talking about Canelo versus a guy who just retired. We gonna see. Remember on RoboCop when they're like, "Can you fly, Bobby?" We gonna see if you can fly. We'll see how fly you are, boy. Do you rate Parker? I mean, I have to. He's a champion, but I mean, I think I think there's other stronger champions, Wilder and Joshua. Um, so yeah, that's what it ultimately to me breaks down to. It's a matter of the WBC putting out or giving the perception that even though someone didn't follow the rules, there have been the rules to save the event, and that as much as I wanted to still see it, because the selfish boxing fan in me, it does put out that message. You know what I mean? Like you could fail and not do what you're supposed to do on your end, and as a result, to save the event, to save the date and all that, they're going to work it out. So WBC just wiped their hands of it and said, "Fuck it, nope." Congrats on 100,000 subs. Thank you. And what do you think of Dillian White? Is he good enough for Wilder or Parker? I think the Parker fight's more up to his speed where he's at right now. I'd watch the Wilder White, but I think I would favor Wilder over White in that fight. But I don't know. He has good body work. So maybe he can break Wilder down. But it's hard to. Wilder's 6'7". I'm taller than Dillian White. I've seen him. I'm taller than him, and Wilder's taller than me. So you know what I mean. To get on the inside of a guy like Wilder, you have to potentially go through something. We got a super chat, Shmoney Dance. Ask who's there, $5. Appreciate you. Who do you think Thurman is going to face as a tune-up? I don't really know. I mean, he fought. See, the only downside about what Thurman's doing is he's one time for real because he's fighting one time a year. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't as much. See, listen, I'm a realistic boxing fan. So some things I say, some people aren't gonna like because they're not realistic. As much as I want to see Errol Spence get a major fight like that, like Keith Thurman Spence, that's a great fight. But you have to be real. Thurman just fought Sean Porter in a war, and then he fought Danny Garcia, who was a top name and a champion. So if he comes back and doesn't fight Errol Spence in January, that's acceptable. Maybe later in the year, that would make sense. You know what I'm saying? If he this is the thing. If he wants to fight Errol Spence in January, shit, I'm not going to complain because I want to see that. But I don't think after having two, it's just not realistic that you require him to, after fighting Porter and Danny Garcia, top level names. You know what I'm saying? And he must fight the hardest fight out there for him, which I believe is Errol Spence. I think that is the hardest fight out there for him. And that's just my opinion. So, I don't know. He might fight Lamont Peterson, Luis Calat. I don't know if you fight Calat in a rematch, but I don't think you fight Berto. They're kind of boys. Maybe even a Victor Ortiz, Josito Lopez, just to stay busy. And the other thing is he's coming off an injury. So, again, as much as I want to see Errol Spence, and I know people are avoiding Errol Spence, they don't look like they want that work. But you got to put it all out there. He just got married, which I mean that doesn't really have nothing to do with it, but he was just coming off an injury. I don't know how severe that type of injury. I'm not a doctor, Doogie Howser, but beyond that, he just fought 2 hard fights. So if he wants to fight, you know what I mean, like a decently ranked guy, and then maybe fight Errol Spence later in the year, that's fine. I don't think Jeff Horn is trying to fight him. Who the fuck is Gary Corcoran? Y'all get mad at the video. I just want to know who he is. Amir Khan, that's a good fight. I don't know if Khan would want that though, as a comeback fight coming off a Canelo knockout. But hey, if he wants it, good fight. What about Keith Thurman versus Lucas Matisse? You think that could happen? Will Golden Boy release Lucas Matisse? Do I see Ortiz coming back? I don't know, because this just happened. So I don't know. Just because his fight got canceled, are they suspending him? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But he's what is he, 38, 39? So it's going to be hard. It's, it's so frustrating because, like, these are quality fights. You know what I mean? Like Luis Ortiz, he fought Dave Allen, all these dudes. To my knowledge, he passed the drug test unless there wasn't one. And the big fight, you don't fail a drug test. I mean, you don't pass it. Very disappointing. And I told you from the jump, I seen it kind of going this way because now you're testing the WBC's strength. Sup, Egos Army? What up with y'all, man? I'm just bummed out, man, because literally I was trying to go to New York for this, but I don't know if I'm gonna go for no Bermane Stiverne rematch. But now you're it's like you're kind of challenging the WBC because, like I said, they can bend their rules and be like, oh, okay, let's give them a pass. But you just know when you open those floodgates and give someone a pass, then there's a chance that other people try to exploit that in the future. You know what I'm saying? And they already did it, I think, with the Francisco Vargas fight. He's like, oh, I ate some meat. It's the meat. I was in Mexico, the meat, the carne. You know what I mean? And then they let that go on. So, you know what I mean? They're not going to keep doing this. And people think, oh, the WBC's soft. Anytime people fail, they'll make it accommodations. Another super chat, Shmoney Dance. Ask Yar Hussein, another $5. Does Keith Thurman fight Danny Garcia or Porter rematch before Spence? I can see that. I can see Danny Garcia and Porter fighting for an eliminator in 2018, and then the winner rematching Thurman later in the year. I don't really see people. Listen, people aren't really jumping up for joy to fight Spence. He arguably has probably the hardest style to deal with at welterweight. He's a champion. He's confident. And his name, if you think about it, and I'm not saying this is a rightful excuse, but I'm just talking about the business and how it would be perceived. He has the smallest of the names. And that's no shade to him, but I think Danny Garcia has a bigger name. And I think Sean Porter and Keith Thurman, their names have been bigger. They've been at that level for a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? So he comes with all the risk, but the money side, you might not get your biggest pay. Like, put it this way. Let's say you're Amir Khan. Do you think Amir Khan will get more money fighting Errol Spence or get more money fighting Danny Garcia? Honestly, answer that question. Are y'all still there? Danny, exactly. Exactly. I agree. You know what I'm saying? Will Broner get more money fighting Sean Porter when he fought him? Or if he were to fight Errol Spence? I think he probably would have got more money fighting Porter. You know what I'm saying? So Spence is he's the epitome of high risk, low reward. I'm not saying, see, and this is the thing, I hate saying stuff like that because there is, for the hardcore boxing fans, the reward is not small. If one of these guys steps up and beats the fuck out of Errol Spence or beats him, then there's your reward right there. You're gonna get a lot of respect. But I'm talking about more so the business side. People don't look at it like that. They look at the risk factor plus you're not gonna get no career payday. You know what I mean? So they'd rather take the risk with the bigger pot. See, Spence is like an Andre to the division. That's a good one. Good comparison. That's what I'm saying. The work is there for you. Don't get it twisted. The Spence work is there for you. He's sparring with a junior middleweight in Jermell Charlo. So the work is there for you. It's just people People want to maximize their potential, especially if you look at the top players at welterweight. Sean Porter already fought Keith Thurman, right? And some people thought Porter won. So a rematch to that, they'll probably make more money because there's already a backstory there. Same thing with Porter if he fights Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia has recently moved up to welterweight, so they probably feel their style would mesh up well with Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? You look at Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman already fought Porter, and he already fought Danny Garcia. So the backstory is already intact. If he fights Thurman, if he fights Errol Spence, he don't know what Spence is bringing because he hasn't fought him. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. So there's a lot of ways you can mix and match. I think it's just going to take a little time. But, I mean, Errol Spence, he has to just keep doing what he's doing. I think Keith Thurman was in this position at a point in time. I mean, he was calling out Floyd Mayweather. We knew that probably wasn't going to happen because he didn't have the clout or the name. And at one point, he was only like a interim title, and it wasn't for Floyd's belt. He just had to keep chucking away and beating the Diego Chavez's and Soto Canas. And then he started getting the bigger fights, the Porters, Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? That's how it always works, usually. I mean, listen, when in boxing, what I've seen, when a guy looks phenomenal, you don't really see too many call-outs. You're like, oh, he look incredible. I want to fight him. Sometimes you do, but I'm saying by and large, you don't always see that. But look at all the people who are like considered like gatekeepers and journeymen. They get fights like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? They keep getting fights. That's how boxing goes. You know what I'm saying? Like Gabe Rosado, he has some losses, and he don't have no trouble getting fights. Martin Murray, he's fighting Glenn Tapia. They put him in there with Triple G. After that, they put him in with David Lemieux, Peter Quillen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because people see a perceived flaw or a loss, they're like, oh, I can handle that. As opposed to the guy who looks like incredible and you don't see those vulnerabilities. We got another super chat, $5 from the same man, Askiar Hussein. In all honesty, do you feel like Demetrius Andrade is being ducked? It's just a lot of 154 pounders out there for me to wrap my mind around that. I think the Andrade situation is tricky. I think it's really a culmination of things. I think the business side, that's part of it. His promoter, and I'm not throwing shade at his promoter, but his promoter hasn't really put him in the best fights to get the most exposure. You know what I'm saying? So him being with the smaller promoter, I think hurts him. The inactivity hurts him. Suing Rock Nation and pulling out of the Charlo fight, all those things hurt him. So that's one of it. And then on the side for him, I think the other aspect of it is that he's just a talented southpaw, tall, rangy, has some slickness, can show defense in front of you, even though he's being offensive. So that's the other thing. People might not be jumping up to joy for fighting to fight that either. But I think some of this is promotion, the way he's been promoted. After he beat Vanes Monterosa, I thought it'd be on and popping. Then he fought Brian Rose in his career. He just start, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't getting those big spotlight fights. Y'all have to see Errol fight in person. When he came to Toronto, he stole the show from Adonis with his skill and technique. Who did he fight, that Barrera dude? I forgot what card that was. Yeah, Errol's a beast, man. But good things come to those who wait. It's just, I think he's just going to have to wait. It's just like Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux's fighting Lomachenko now, but how many years has he been calling out everybody else trying to fight? Leo Santa Cruz, Quigg, Frampton, all these dudes. And that's what happens when you're talented, you're skillful, you're perceived as a threat. Like Adeslani Lara, another person. Lara had been calling out Lara had been calling out Canelo way longer than when he actually got the fight. Some of y'all don't remember because I don't even know if some of y'all was even born back then. young millennial ass. But anyway, he was calling him out, and it wasn't until he hopped on stage after Canelo's victory and kind of outshined him or whatever, embarrassed him. That's when the fight was made. But he had been calling out Canelo. He just had to keep waiting. Then finally, he was like, "Fuck that," and ran up on the stage. Any of y'all artists want to be artists? Don't want to have to worry about executive producer. All in the video. Redhead fighters come to death row. Erickson Lubin versus Money Powell. That's not even a conversation point right now because Lubin is fighting Jermell Charlo. And we don't know how he's going to fare against that. And Money Powell is just like new in his career. They're going to build him up. You don't just go. That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. See, listen. If some of y'all were like promoters, your fighters would be vegetables. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they did what you claim that you want from the fighter, it just wouldn't even be realistic. You know what I'm saying? You have a fucking heavyweight who has 3 fights. Put him in there with Mike Tyson. Like, yeah, that could be a good fight in the future, but you don't do that. You don't, like, even, listen, I can tell you some people right now who their losses are like 50-50. Their losses don't even really look good. I mean, their records don't even look great. I call them Skittle records because we go on Boxrec and you see all the colors. But taste the rainbow. There's guys like that right now who there's nothing really even glamorous about their record. But if you put a young fighter in there with them, your young fighter might get fucked up, like a Darnell Boone. He's one of those people that if you're too young and inexperienced, and all the experience he has, stopping Adonis Stevenson, dropping Kovalev and Ward, I believe, he's too experienced. And he's been in there. He's very seasoned. And he's very strong. So you have to build up to that. Guys like Emmanuel Augustus. Shout out to Emmanuel Burton, Emmanuel Augustus. His record, DeMarcus Corley even. You can't just put them guys have fought. If I show you DeMarcus Corley's resume, I know for a fact some of y'all are sleeping on it. This dude has fought everybody. This dude has fought everybody. So you don't just get somebody who's fresh off the block, who's this young hotshot, and put him in there with somebody like that. Because even though their records don't look great, they're dumbass experience. Can we get to 150 likes and I'm gonna show y'all? I'll show y'all an example of a deep resume. And again, it's not even just about winning and losing. Because like I said, a lot of these guys have half and half records. Where it's like, if you look at the record, just look at the numbers, like, oh, that ain't shit. But that's still experience. Whether you got knocked out by the great fighters you fought, whether you beat them, whether it was a decision, loss, split it, that's still experience. Give me to 150 likes, and I'm going to show y'all so y'all can understand what the fuck I'm talking about. So yeah, so if the fighters did what y'all say y'all want, your fighters would have very short careers. You know what I mean? Like even like Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, he was fighting like Campbells and people like that before Eric Morales. And then when they got him to a certain point, and after that point, you start fighting better and better. That's how you develop a fighter. All right. We at 150 likes, as promised. So let me show you Chop Chop so you guys can understand. See, look, 50, 28, and 1. So if you see that, you're like, oh, who cares about that record? But let's go and analyze how many names that you can recognize that he's fought. Vivian Harris. I know Vivian Harris. I don't know about some of y'all. Right? Just type it if you see a name you recognize. I know Manuel Perez. That's my dude. Out of Denver. He fought Victor Ortiz. Selchuk Aydin, the one that Robert Guerrero fought. Victor Postal, the one Terrence Crawford fought. Paul McCloskey, I think Amir Khan fought him. Gabriel Bracerio, Paulie Malignaggi fought him. Ruslan Provodnikov, Everybody knows him. Tim Bradley fights. Thomas Delorme. Lucas Martin Matisse. Who's that? Marcos Maidana. Who's that? See, look. This motherfucker already... Look, right here. That's killers right there. Marcos Maidana, Lucas Matisse, and Ruslan. That's like... God damn. Them 3 killers right there. In terms of punching power. Freddie Hernandez. Randall Bailey got cracks. Knocked out Mike Johnson. Ashley Theophane, who's with TMT and fought Broner. Devin Alexander. Right? Junior Witter. Right? Miguel Cotto, who's that? Floyd Mayweather, who's that? Zab Judah, who's that? Randall Bailey again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hitters. Those are some real life. Who we talking about? Cotto, Randall Bailey twice, Floyd Mayweather, Ruslan, Matisse, Maidana, Devin Alexander. This motherfucker fought so many people. He fought other people that fought each other. Like, he fought Floyd Mayweather and Zab Judah, and they fought each other. He fought Devin Alexander, and he fought Marcos Maidana, and they fought each other. You know what I'm saying? And Matisse fought Maidana in the amateurs. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You don't just put somebody in there with some. That's Cotto, really? He been in there with everybody. Cotto and Zab fought. Crazy. Deep ass resume. That's what I'm saying. There's guys like that. You're like, man, who the fuck? Look, he got 28 losses. Okay. Put your fighter in there with Mr. 28 losses. You're a young fighter. Darnell Boone. Look at his record. You're like, oh, 23, 24, and 4. Oh, he only has 12 KOs, 24%. Put him in there. Put him in there. Adonis Stevenson, Sergey Kovalev, Willie Monroe Jr. He fought Sergey Kovalev, lost split decision, and he hurt Sergey. Adonis Stevenson knocked him out. Edwin Rodriguez, Edislandi Lara, Brian Vera, Curtis Stevens, Jean Pascal, Luan Simon. Who's that? Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? Like, he fought Kovalev twice, Stevenson twice, Andre Ward and knocked him down, Willie Monroe Jr., Edislandi Lara, Curtis Stevens. Like, come on, man. Like, he fighting people in weird weight classes. Like, crazy. Yeah, Boone knocked Ward down for sure. So that's a lot of people. You know what I mean? That's a lot of experience. So you guys have to be realistic. Boone says he knocked down Kovalev 6 times. What, in the fight? I don't remember that, or in sparring. Ego, you sleeping on my boy Terrell Goucher from Cleveland. He gonna put Lada down. I ain't sleeping on anything. I ain't say nothing bad about the man. I'm talking about I'm sleeping. I ain't even really had time to even talk about that fight. But okay. Ego, you're a blessing in boxing. Thank you. Hey man, I just try to get to the nitty gritty. See, look, BoxRec then gave Darnell Boone a 2.5 rating. So you're like, oh, he easy work. 24% not. All right, put him in there. Andre Ward don't get knocked down often. He got knocked down moving up in weight versus Kovalev and Darnell Boone. It's only times. So You look at that, like, oh, 24% knockout. That's nothing. Okay. Same thing, even Julius Ndongo. Julius Ndongo, his resume don't, his knockout percentage and shit don't look crazy. But he knocked the fuck out of Troy Yanofsky, who was highly ranked. Y'all gotta know boxing and respect this game, man. You're like, oh, Julius Ndongo, 11 knockouts, 48%. But shit, he was going in people's backyard up until Crawford went in their backyard. Had him his business, his business. Stay the fuck about my business. Listen, in case you're just joining the stream, this was cracking. The Luis King Kong Ortiz fight is over. It's off. No one dissects boxing like Ego. Keep it up, bruv. Thank you. Good show, Ego. I like the way you use examples to make your point. I appreciate that. So, hated or love it, the underdogs on top. This looks like it's the one that's going down. I might not go to New York for this, man. Yo, who the fuck is Chris Eubank? That's what I'm talking about. I told y'all. I know I like Chris Eubank Sr. and stuff, but like he gotta fight somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's in shape and stuff, and he looks the part, comes from a fight family, but it's like, who are you fighting? Who the fuck is Yildirim Pilgrim or whatever his name is? Like, honestly, who is that? Fighting Arthur Abram after Ward beat him and Gilberto Ramirez? The dude he fighting beast mode. I don't even know who he is, so he gonna have to show me that. But y'all want to see something funny? Let's get up to 175 likes so I can show you something funny with the presser. Yildirim is hella slow. Let's get to 175 likes. I already got it queued up, man. This shit was so funny. All right, we there. Listen to what this dude says, the manager, the guy's manager.
Ahmed, let's sit down. Let's continue. You fight, you come.
He said, "You fight me, you cunt."
No, let's continue.
Hey, he's hot right now. Just listen to what he says. Please listen. He goes in. Don't laugh at me.
Just get back. Don't laugh at me, please. Don't laugh. Don't laugh at me.
Listen.
When you laugh again, don't laugh at me. When you laugh, you son of a bitch, I fuck you. I fuck your wife in your bed.
Hey, bro. What the fuck? What was up with that? Did y'all hear what he said? He said, "Don't laugh. Don't laugh with me." He said, "You laugh at me, I'll fuck your wife in your bed." Wow. Don't laugh at me. And he paused for a minute too. He's like, "Don't laugh. Don't laugh at me. I fuck." And he started thinking about it. He's like, well, what can I follow up? What am I gonna fuck? He's like, should I go the Mike Tyson route? I'm gonna fuck you in front of everybody. I'm gonna fuck you in the ass in front of everybody. He's like, nah, too much. What can I say? Who can I fuck? I'll fuck his daughter. Nah, his daughter might be young, underage. That's it. I'm gonna say, I fuck your wife in your bed. And he just hit that. I fuck your wife in your own bed. Like, damn, is that serious? Like, you couldn't get a hotel or something? You just gonna fuck my bitch in my bed? Oh, okay. So what the fuck? Hey, he was tripping, bro. And he was I thought he was the fighter. I don't know who the fuck Yildirim is or whoever. I thought he was the fighter, but he's all geeked up. I ain't never heard that. Like, damn, don't laugh at me. Like, how harsh is a laugh? You know what I'm saying? Ego, shut the fuck up. No one cares about Wilder and Stiverne. You know what? No one cares about you. Blocked. Get your ass out of here. What are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. Get your L and keep it pushing. But anyway, yeah, he's talking about shut the fuck. I'm not even talking about Wilder and Stiverne. I'm just giving the news, but I gotta shut the fuck up. Collect your L. Do not pass go. Get the fuck up out of here before I fuck your wife in your bed. You know how I do, man. But anyway, how bad is a laugh? Don't laugh at me. You laugh at me, I'm gonna fuck your wife in your bed. Like, damn. That's like a new level of anger. When you threaten to fuck somebody's wife in their bed. You couldn't use the futon in the guest room. You had to fuck her in my bed. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Man, I'm not married, but shit. I'll go Denzel. Yeah, okay. You want to fuck my wife in my bed? On my sheets? On my satin sheets, huh? All right. I'm putting bullets in all you bitches. That's crazy. I'll fuck your wife. I'll do that Eminem guilty. What's the guilty conscience? All right, maybe there's an explanation for this shit. What? She tripped, fell, landed on his dick? All right, Shady. Maybe he's right, Greg. But think about the baby before you... Okay, thought about it. Still want to grab her? Get your daughter and kidnap her? That's what I did. Be smart. Don't be a retard. Are you going to take advice from somebody who slapped deeper? Would you say? I'm going to kill you. Temper. Mr. Dre, Mr. NWA, Mr. Ray K coming straight out of Compton. Y'all better make way. Tell them you need a place to stay. You'll be safe for days. You shave your nails with Renee's razor blades. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I degraded her. You fucking my opponent in my bed. Okay. Peace out. Sue Red Blood. Go in, gaffle the money, and run in one of your aunt's crib and borrow a damn dress and one of her blonde wigs. Tell her you need a place to stay. You'll be safe for days if you shave your legs with Renee's razor. Okay. Thought about it. Still want to stab her? That's what I did. Be smart, though. You gonna take a... Go in, fuck her in the bed. Fuck your wife in his wife's bed. Stab it in like a knife head. Turn the blood bright red when I'm right. Yeah, this dude's tripping. He said, you cunt. I fuck your wife. Max Kellerman has better rhymes than Eminem. You sound foolish. Yeah, I don't even know who he's fighting. Yildirim? Who is that? Tell the truth. Yeah, real talk, man. I'm disappointed. I want to see that Ortiz shit. Y'all think it's worth it to go to New York for that? Bermane Stiverne too? Y'all think it's worth it? Damn, y'all saying no. Wow. See, I might have to save my dollars, man. See, this is fucked up, man. I was trying to give y'all that premium coverage. And I like excuses to go to New York. I always have a good time in New York. Literally one person said yes. Ego is a comedian. I'm just real. Save the dollars for Rigo. Damn, y'all on that Drake shit. Nah, don't do it. Please don't do it. Someone said don't do it. That's how you know it's bad. Man. Yeah, I might have to. Depends on if we get some super chats. I don't know if I want to spin that for Wilder Stiverne. Like I said, if Stiverne was more active, that'd be one thing. But he off a 19-month layoff, so I mean, I think he's a good fighter, but that layoff. That's why the Dominic Brazil fight would have been perfect for him. And then fight the winner. But in case you're just joining the stream, like I said, as upset as I am about the ruling, because I'm a boxing fan. I want to see the best matches. You know what I'm saying? It's understandable. I understand why they did it, because like I said, if you open those floodgates, then other people can use this. Hey, remember that Wilder Ortiz fight? You still let it go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So you just create that. So a lot of companies and businesses, they'll just dead it. They'll dead it. So you know what I mean? Set the standard right then and there. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. It's on you. And ultimately, listen, this is what I'm telling you from the beginning. See, I'm not one of those people who just say stuff without thinking it. Well, actually, I do sometimes. I'm an Aries. But I try not to do on my boxing shit. And I told you guys from the jump, I've maintained the same thing. Like I always tell y'all, listen to what people say then and now. And I'm not switching it up. Again, I'm kind of pissed because I wanted to see Wilder Ortiz. I thought it was a great fight. I was going to go out to New York for that. I'm not really stoked for the Stiverne 2 fight. But it's really on Ortiz's camp and him. And I've maintained the same thing. Listen, there's a certain process and a certain procedure for most things in life. And if you don't follow those procedures, and this is part of your employment, because you're a prize fighter, so you fight for a prize. You're a boxer, which means you have to box to make a living, right? We all understand that. And if you don't follow protocol and procedures, then guess what? You're fucking it up for yourself. That's it. It's protocol procedures for any job. If you break that, then whatever happens next really falls on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to work at Lowe's. I knew this dude in the lumber department. Dude with dreads, you know what I'm saying? Cool cat, young cat, hard ass worker. But he liked to smoke weed. This was before weed was legalized in California. I don't know. I haven't had a job in years because this is what I do. So I don't know how weed is in California. I don't know what the deal is with it. But this was years ago. This was like 5 years ago. So well before marijuana was legalized, right? He busted his ass on time, punctual, everything. But the Lowe's policy was a drug-free environment. And you need a medical card? That's not hard to get though. The Lowe's policy was a drug-free environment. You know what I'm saying? Because you're operating heavy machinery, equipment, forklifts. So the dude in lumber, he was a beast. Like he would get pallets down and execute, wrap it around, you know what I mean, shrink wrap and all that. But at the time, he was, I don't know, he was on the forklift and he damaged some of the racking or whatever. So what they do at Lowe's, the policy is they immediately get the cotton swab, go to the scene and swab you up because they don't want to be liable for it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, they administered the drug test, came back dirty. He had marijuana in his system. He got fired. That's just it. It's what it is. Lowe's policy that you sign up for is that you don't do any drugs. And at the time, marijuana was considered a drug. So he got fired. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's and see that like, if I was Wilder, I'd be pissed because they went out of their way, took on a huge challenge because I think Luis Ortiz, style-wise, how he fights is a challenge to anyone in the division. 2, he he made accommodations with another fighter he was really supposed to fight. Step aside money and all, right? And he made accommodations to get him out of the way, get him out of his hair. Here, take this money, fight on the undercard, boom, you good. And then Luis Ortiz fails a drug test. See, another thing is this. People. Luis Ortiz, aside from, listen, like, you guys know me. There's a lot of fucked up things going on in this nation. You got fucking Donald Trump throwing paper towels at the victims in Puerto Rico who were trying to rebuild. Here's a paper towel. Here's some brownies, ho. Right? There's a lot of crazy shit going on. Natural disasters. I was in Vegas. They had that horrible shooting. A lot of fucked up shit going on right now in this nation. Right? And you got to understand it. I don't believe in like racial profiling, things like that. But you have to understand that if you have a jacket, like a track record of anything that's in our society perceived as negative, then a lot of people, they're going to hold that over your head. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if I had like a whole bunch of felonies and grand larceny and robberies, and a car came up missing, and I was around that area. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be a suspect. That's how it goes, and that's the other thing you have to take into consideration. If this one time was the prescription, and that was the only thing that Luis Ortiz had on his track record or whatever you want to say, then that's that. But he fought in 2014 against Latif Coyote, who was, I think, training with Freddie Roach. And he failed a drug test then, too, for something had nothing to do with blood pressure medicine, right? So that's what any kind of business and committee and hearings and stuff and court, because I've been to court, I've been to hearings. They try to establish character. And if he didn't have nothing, maybe. Like the whole, hold on. Like Francisco Vargas, his whole situation. He said he ate tainted meat in Mexico. Well, he could provide proof that he was in Mexico, right? So it's possible. But to my knowledge, he hadn't failed a drug test before. You get me? So as a result, he hasn't proven. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't remember him failing out a drug test, other than the one versus Orlando Salido. But again, so he has, his character is not in question. It just, this is one test, and to my knowledge, he hasn't failed since against Miguel Berchelt or anything else. So bottom line is, that's what I'm saying. Luis Ortiz had that 2014 test. And then this, and then you didn't even go about it the right way. So, I mean, you can't blame the WBC. You can't blame Wilder. That's Team Ortiz's fault, because you know, if you already had a failed test, the perception, right or wrong, is you got a bullseye in your back. Tupac talked about this all the time. Tupac talked about, like, the rape case. He was like, this ain't even about me no more. This is about do-rag wearing, like, Doug living, rap music. You know what I mean? Tupac, it was always glorified when he got in trouble, shot at some cops, got out, got beat up by the cops, was, you know what I mean, beat up the Hughes brothers, Menace to Society directors, and he had these several run-ins. So when it came to the rape thing, I don't think Tupac did it, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he did it, but the way the media is gonna spin it is like, oh, look at his criminal record. Like Tupac said, I never had a jail record till I made a record. You know what I mean? So that's the perception. If you have a clean track record, then maybe you can get off with this. I didn't go through the proper procedure. But if you already failed one, that's already kind of like the one strike. So this is, you're on strike two. That's how they're gonna look at it. You got to understand courts, and as much of a bummer as this is, are you excited for the Stiverne fight? No, I'm not. Listen, I don't know if you just joined the stream. I told you guys I was gonna go to New York for this, pay all the money because it's not cheap to rent hotels for a week, 5 days or whatever in Brooklyn. Plus, I'm in California, so I'm pretty much as far as you can be from New York in the states. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't blame the WBC. I can't blame Wilder. They just doing their job. Again, to my knowledge, Ortiz's team is the one that didn't do what they're supposed to do by declaring it, and that's what makes everything more sneaky. Because now it looks like you're hiding something. If you just said it off the rip, then it would like this is a foul example. But let's say you're gonna sleep with a girl, and you're like, are you on birth control? Right? And then she said yes. Or, hey, are you on your period? And then she says no. And then you start doing the damn thing, and then you notice that she actually is on her period. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? You'd be surprised because she just told you that she wasn't. It wasn't her time of the month. You know what I'm saying? So that's a random, funny analogy. But that's the thing. It's always worse when you don't declare something, because then now it's just like it feels like a setup. And maybe if they went about it the right way, it'd be a different outcome. But you already had the one strike in 2014, and then on top of that, it looks like you're hiding something. Because listen, if you on doctor prescribed blood pressure medicine, how does that just slip your mind? Like, oh shit, I forgot. You know what I mean? Listen. Okay, first of all, if in most cases, if you're on blood pressure medicine, it's because your blood pressure is too high, which is never a good thing for anybody, right? So that's pretty severe. So you probably have to take it routinely. So how does that just slip your mind if it's something you're probably having to take daily to get your levels down because you have hypertension or whatever? You know what I'm saying? It's just like a female birth control or something. Is she gonna really forget that she's taking BC? Like, really? If the questionnaire says, "Hey, are you on birth control?" No. Oh shit! I forgot. I've been taking it for the last 5 years. Ego's so angry about the fight, he's resorting to sex analogy. You damn right, man. I'm bummed out because if you look at it, it was cracking October, November, and then December. Real shit. I might even try to go to Danny Jacobs fight now. Danny Jacobs versus Luis Cuba Arias, because the press conference was pretty lit. See, I probably wasn't about to swing both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, go to Danny Jacobs shit, and then go to Wilder shit, and then try to go to Rigondeaux shit with Lomachenko. But shit, I might try to go to, I don't know yet. Yeah, the date, venue, and all that's the same. November 4th. I might have to check out my dude Danny Jacobs. I always wanted to go to the Nassau Coliseum too. I never been there. That doesn't make sense. I give Danny a bigger pass for Rios than I do Porter versus Granados. You got to explain that one. What are you talking about? V8 Haas. I might have to put you in the hot seat because that sounds crazy. I give Danny Garcia a bigger pass for fighting Brandon Rios than I do Sean Porter for fighting Adrian Granados. Explain that one. Danny's coming up for loss. So, it's not like he got knocked down or knocked out. And it's not... That's stupid. Sean Porter is coming off of a Berto win. That's it. And didn't he fight Keith Thurman before that, which is a loss? So he has one win. And the fact of the matter is, most people would probably say Granados has looked fresher in his last performance than Rios. I mean, look at Granados' last couple of fights versus look at Rios' last couple of fights. Rios has he's one fight removed from being stopped by Tim Bradley, who's not even bigger puncher. Some people, I was at the fight. Some people had Granados beating Broner. He was boxing. He was doing, you know what I'm saying? He did his thing. I had Broner winning, but it was a close fight for sure. So I definitely think Sean Porter has a tougher fight. And you have to look at the variables. Sean Porter's shorter than Granados. Granados stopped Amir Imam. What? I'm not hating. I'm just okay with Denny versus Rios. Yeah, but the thing is this. You should have left it at, I'm cool with Danny versus Rios. But the fact that you're trying to compare it to Porter versus Granados, that makes you look. Does anyone else agree with that? I think, and see, you got to look at the actual facts. Like, stylistically, I think Sean Porter versus Granados is a tougher fight. So Sean Porter's taking a bigger risk because he's fighting a guy who maybe if he was boxing right or some shit, could beat him. I'm not saying Granados would beat Porter, but I think he has a better chance of beating him than Rios has to beat Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So I can't agree. I can't agree with that at all. That's what I'm saying. You're better off just saying I'm cool with that fight, but you sound ridiculous. You have to, like, come on, man. I should have put you in the hot seat because you just saying stuff. Because the other thing, Granados, he's a good fighter. Other thing is Rios has fought. He was with Top Rank, and then they released him or whatever, got out of his contract, and he ain't fought for like a year. Look, new media, and I'm not shading Brandon Rios. I like him, man. The dude, cool dude. But these are the facts. He fought Bradley November of 2015. Bradley. And he was stopped to the body in the 9th round. So once again, November 2015. And he did not have a fight after he got out of Top Rank contract all the way up until 2017. So that's like 2 years almost. And then he fought Aaron Herrera and stopped him in the 7th round. But who's Aaron Herrera? You know what I'm saying? Guy with 7 losses. So that's cool for a comeback fight when you've been out. But look, this is Aaron Herrera. He got stopped 2 times in a row by, shout out to Regis Progress, right? Stopped him. And look, he lost to Mike and Yes Indeed Reed. He was fighting at 140. So Rios was fighting a guy who was like really a career 140 pounder. Look at these weights. So you got to know boxing. And he had been stopped. He has 7 losses. So again, that's a fight Rios needed coming off a 2-year layoff. But Granados clearly has more momentum because Granados, you can at least argue that he beat Broner. You know what I'm saying? So that sounds crazy to me. I think Sean Porter clearly has the tougher task because you have to look at it. Granados, even Brandon Rios, who has a hell of a chin, Granados ain't never been stopped. Look, never been stopped. And he has some good names. Felix Diaz. Look, Broner. He stopped Amir Imam, right? Been in there with Felix Diaz. Been in there with Kermit Central, Frankie Gomez, Leonardo Tyner, who fought Canelo and Sean Porter in the exhibition match. And Granados way fresher. VA Hoss, you're not looking good. Granados has 5 losses, 2 draws. Never been, because see, now you sound like a super casual. You sound like a super casual because if you look at the losses, you actually knew what the fuck you were talking about. And you look at his losses, he's losing in, it's not like he's getting embarrassed when his losses. Look, so you don't know. Now VA Hoss, I was trying to be cool, but now it's time to separate the men from the boys. So we could really do this. I should put you in the hot seat. Adrian Broner, he lost a split decision. Some people thought he even won. A split decision loss. So you're just looking at the mere shit. He lost to Frankie Gomez, who looked great versus Mauricio Herrera on the Canelo Khan undercard, right? A majority decision. He had a split draw with Kermit Cintron, right? His second pro fight, he lost, but it was a split decision. Felix Diaz, who beat the shit out of Sammy Vasquez and lost to Crawford, but he arguably beat Lamont Peterson, he lost a majority decision. So that means people scored it for Adrian Granados as well. That's how you get a majority decision. He had a Brad Solomon split decision loss. So once again, you're looking at a number because you're a BoxRec fan and you're not on my level. So you're looking at 5 losses. 5 losses is cool, but every single loss I showed you was split decision, majority decision. That means people aren't beating the fuck out of him. Because if they're beating the fuck out of him, it wouldn't be no split decision and majority decision each and every time. Boom. I just don't think he's on the elite level as Porter. That's all I'm saying, not hating. But Brandon Rios is on the elite level. Danny Garcia is on the elite level. Do you think Brandon Rios right now is on the elite level? Now you're making it like I'm shading Brandon Rios, but I'm just being honest. Brandon Rios, I had him losing to Diego Chavez. I thought he was clearly losing. And it ended in a bullshit disqualification when they were both fighting kind of dirty. Tim Bradley stopped him. Pacquiao won every single round and didn't get credit for a knockdown. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what are you really talking about? You just said Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios is solid, and you give that more credence and credit than you do Granados. When I just showed you, yeah, Granados has 5 losses, but he lost close to Broner, lost close, a majority decision to Felix Diaz, right? Brad Solomon split decision. So, and he's never been stopped. Brandon Rios has been stopped. So it's not like Adrian Granados, someone just dogged him and beat, you know what I mean, like Crawford did in Dongo or Felix Diaz. So once again, you're being reliant on BoxRec. You just see a number, and this is what I'm telling you guys about. Remember how I was telling you about certain guys with their record, like Darnell Boones and DeMarcus Corley? Yeah, if you look at their record, I'm like, oh shit, 18, 5, and 2. I tell you, I call him a Skittle record. But you got to look deeper than that. Who are these 5 losses? How did he lose? If he got stopped 5 times, then that's something different. If he got stopped 4 times, that's something different. He got stopped 0 times. This shit is too easy for me, man. Y'all gotta give me some harder work, man. And I should have put you in the hot seat. Because I know I buried you. Again, you can't just look at a record. A record doesn't always tell you though. Because, okay, put it this way. I'll use a popular current fight. A lot of people say Triple G beat Canelo. So if you look through Triple G's resume and you're like, oh, he got a draw against Canelo, you know what I'm saying? And I really think the Danny Jacobs fight probably shouldn't even been a unanimous decision. It should have been a split decision. But a lot of people thought he won the fight. Triple G won the fight. So if you judge him, oh, he got a draw. But boxing doesn't always work like that. Just because someone scores it a certain way doesn't mean the other person didn't actually win. So Granados could maybe even have 2 losses, 3 losses. You look at Erislandy Lara. See, this is too easy. Let me show y'all. This is how I bury the BoxRec boys, man. BoxRec boys can't fuck with me. And trust me, I fuck with BoxRec. I use it all the time. You guys see that. But, Erislandy Lara, 24-2-2. You know what I'm saying? You look at that. Who was he losing to? He lost a split decision to Canelo, and I thought he beat Canelo. And he lost to Paul Williams via majority decision, and he beat Paul Williams. So arguably, if I look at BoxRec, I'm like, oh, Erislandy Lara, he has losses. He's not invincible. but that's not how it works because I thought he beat Canelo, and I know he beat Paul Williams. Period. I mean, realistically, if you know your boxing, if he was gonna have a loss, I would say he looked shitty in the Carlos Molina fight. If you're gonna give him a loss, and they ruled that a draw. Shit's too easy. That's why you can't just go off of someone's box rec, what they did on box rec, because it doesn't always tell the tale. You have to look at how they're losing it, stuff like that. Shout out to Turkey. Yeah, a lot of beat Canelo, in my opinion. It was close. Canelo started digging to his body, but I still think Lada did enough early success, had enough early success. Yeah, so Granados, like I said, you can hold 5 losses against him, but that's probably what Amir Imam was doing too. Oh, this motherfucker got 4 losses. Probably had 4 at the time because it was before the Broner fight, and they got stopped by him. Like I just went over this earlier. Some guys you can't base their level of talent based on the record because sometimes people don't get a fair shake. They don't get the rightful wins that they deserve. I thought Richard Abreu beat Brandon Rios. So if you're looking at losses, you're like, okay, Brandon Rios only has 3 losses or whatever it is, but it should have been 4 because Richard Abreu really beat him. You know what I'm saying? So that's Pacquiao, Bradley, Diego Chavez. That if it wasn't a disqualification, maybe he would have beat him. So shit, Brandon Rios might have 4 or 5 losses too if things went a little bit different. So you gotta know this shit. You gotta know this game, especially if you come at me. This is Evo Valley. This ain't Berto. This ain't Guerrero. This ain't what you're used to. Anyway, what else y'all want to talk about before I get out of here? I don't know how much Granados weighs after rehydration, but he is a big frame. I do know that. I've seen the dude. He's pretty. I know he's taller than Sean Porter. He listed at 5'9", Canelo's height. Trout Hurd, I don't know. They both got a shot. That whole card is good, man. I gotta watch that Morrison 30 for 30. Yeah, that's a good point, Frank or F Mac. Granados has longer arms than Floyd. He's listed at 74-inch reach. So that's pretty long. Pause. I think Floyd has a 72-inch reach. He's listed at 5'9". I don't know if he's 5'10". I've seen him. I don't know if I give him that. But like I said, Danny Garcia Rios, it could be a fun fight. But the only issue I have with the fight is like what Danny Garcia is saying. Like Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. Oh, excuse me. He's like, oh, Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. Like basically like he's a paper champ. And then he's like, oh, Sean Porter, I'll knock him out. He's been protected. So if that's the case, if you feel all that, then why fight Rios? Why not fight Porter? And I know the Porter for a fact wanted to fight you straight away this year. So that seems a little questionable to me. So I think that's why people are like, Rios, really? Like I said, it could be a fun fight. He's coming off a loss, so you can give him that. But see, the fighters probably make it worse for themselves because they start saying other stuff. Like if he just said, oh, I'm coming off a loss, we got to work on some different things. Me and my pops get back on track. That's cool. But then when you start fighting Rios, who fought one time in the last 2 years, right? And he's one fight removed from being knocked out. All facts. That's not shade. That's facts, right? And somebody who's had issues when he's had long layoffs with discipline, right? And on top of that, you're bashing other high-level people, Sean Porter's and Terrence Crawford. That's where the criticism comes into play. You guys get me? Postal's fighting Regis Progress, which is also a good fight. So let's do a roll call. I'm about to get out of here. I've been on here for a while. Boxingego roll call. Let me know where y'all at, where y'all from. Brook Nam in the building. Fort Worth, Atlanta, Baltimore, Arcadia Park, Houston, Texas, Kansas City, Virginia, Dallas, San Antonio, DR, Georgia, DMV, Memphis, Joshua, Texas, Berlin, Germany. Shout out to y'all. Columbia, Harlem World. Come on. Chicago, Garfield Park, North Carolina, Houston, H Boogie, Canada, Pasadena, Brooklyn, Fort Worth, Bodymore, Murderland. Damn, that sounds pretty vicious. So we're gonna call it a show. I get something to eat and just chill. In closing, Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. It's off. Now it looks like Bermane Stiverne, the number one mandatory, is no longer stepping aside. Has been elevated. I gotta work on them hats. I don't know if I'm going to New York for this one, though. I have to think about it, especially with the associated costs. New York's pretty pricey, at least where I be staying and stuff. Unless y'all know like some superb plugs from Cali. Hats coming soon, man. We got the hats coming soon, man. We working coming soon. We got the brim. The brim low. It's Wilder's fault though. You sound stupid. Yeah, you sound pretty stupid. It's Wilder's fault another man failed the drug test. You sound stupid. Man, our work coming soon. We working. I know, it's funny. Wilder gets blamed for everything. It's hilarious. Povetkin fails, Wilder's fault. Bermane Stiverne elevated because Luis Ortiz failed, it's Wilder's fault. Haters gonna hate. I'm out of here, man. Disappointing news though, but like I said, I understand it. I understand how the game goes. And I think ultimately Trump elected into the office, Wilder's fault. Y'all tripping. Yeah, I think ultimately the WBC standpoint is they don't want to set the precedence or set the standard that if you don't go through with what you're supposed to, you don't follow your procedure or their procedures for the clean testing program, then they're going to make it work no matter what to save the event. And you can't blame them for that. You know what I mean? Because it's just like a parent disciplining a kid. If you allow one kid to do whatever, come home past curfew, then the other kids might want to try to do that too. Just that's what they see. You know what I'm saying? So if they, even though I wanted them to try to fix it some kind of way, Team Ortiz didn't go through the proper procedures. And the reason that I know that I'm almost like 100% sure that they didn't go through is because they would have a valid case if they actually declared it. They could be like, hey, we told you. Like, it wasn't a mystery. But the fact that I have not seen Team Wilder, they, you know what I mean? They posting pills, you know what I mean, all that. That don't, with his name on it, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. But where's the show your copy of the medical records where it says, are you on something? And you put, yes, we're on Lortazole or whatever the shit's called. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's an easy fix. Because I know, man, this is like any kind of procedure. I just took my car to get a tune-up, or not a tune-up, an oil change, right? What they do is they check, they have like a checklist, your mileage and stuff like that. Or here's a better example. I've rented cars before on some of these trips and stuff. You rent a car, so what the person does has a clipboard with the checklist, and they look and examine, turn the key on, make sure it starts, look at the mileage, right? See if there's any dents, record if there's any dents. Like, okay, there's a scratch on the left door and the back seat. all the tires are good, blah, blah, blah. So if I come and bring that rental car back and there's a new, on the right door, there's a huge dent that was not accounted for, then they're gonna be like, you did that when you rented the car. You did that. Because we both walked through the car, you know what I mean? Went through the checklist, and that dent wasn't there. And it would be very easy to prove because I'll be like, oh, pull up the paperwork. And we notated that dent was there. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, until I see proof from Luis Ortiz's team, I don't want to just see fucking pill bottles. That don't mean something. That don't mean nothing. I want to see an actual copy, which you should be able to produce, unless there's this huge cover up against you. You know what I mean? You should either have already received a copy, got a copy when you're there, or be able to get a copy and show that where the medical records ask you, are you taking anything? And you put, yes, I'm taking this X, Y, and Z for my high blood pressure. If you don't produce that, then to me, this was negligence on behalf of you and your team. That's it. So all the people bummed out, mad that this fight is no longer taking place. It's nobody else's fault. You got to follow procedure. That's just it. And I'm out, just like that. Let me know what you guys think. Pretty disappointed. Don't know if I'm going out to New York now, but that is the latest. Wilder, Bermane, Stiverne 2. Let's get it. Holla at me, man.